Mr. Speaker, today in this devolved British Parliament, we arise to say sorry. We say sorry to Lieutenant Anthony Daly. We say sorry to Trooper Simon Tipper. We say sorry to Lance Corporal Geoffrey Young. And we say sorry to Staff Corporal Roy Bright. And we say sorry to them in this British devolved Parliament because you have experienced the gravest of grave injustices. We, the British people, have failed you. We have failed your families, and in the name of a British government, we have failed to deliver for you your human right to justice. But let no one be under any mistake. The announcement of a judge-led inquiry, the announcement that those who have letters now are aware that the scheme, it will now be satisfied, that your letter will no longer satisfy the courts, that you can avoid being questioned, or you can avoid being prosecuted. That, my friends, is only the beginning. Because like Churchill said at the end of El Alamein, this is not the end. This is not the beginning of the end. The announcement of a judge-led inquiry and the announcement that your letters no longer will satisfy a court, that you can be not held for questioning or prosecution, that, Mr. Speaker, is only the beginning of the end. The Deputy First Minister, who hasn't seen fit to be here for most of this debate, I will not
Point of order.
The First Minister was here for most of the debate.
It will record the empty seat.
Order. Let's not have debate across the chamber.
It will record, Mr. Speaker, through you, the empty seat, in the same way Frank Hegarty's family has an empty chair. Because the reality is, those who were murdered by those with no respect for human life and the rule of law have quite literally got away with murder. That needs to be investigated. I repudiate the Deputy First Minister when he says that it is a get-out-of-jail-free card. I repudiate it on the basis that he also gave Frank Hegarty's mother a letter or a message of comfort. And what a misnomer it is to call a letter of comfort, because the inquiry has to establish, was there a perversion of the course of justice? The House of Commons is free in a British Parliament to compel witnesses. And I would like our own Justice Committee to look at what appears to be the ultimate in collusion between the British government and IRA terrorists. Because British citizens are entitled to know how the Queen's royal prerogative of mercy was used to pardon the murder of British citizens. How can a royal prerogative of mercy be used for people who have not been brought before a court and convicted for escape from jail? How can we have a pre-trial or a pre-pardon for those who have not been convicted? And the Minister of Justice, 38 of these letters were set out under your watch. And it was that is the reality, that under this coalition government, which coincides with the same period as the devolution of policing and justice, and at a time when the coalition government came to power under those beings, 38 of these letters have been sent out. And the inquiry will also have to establish who delivered these letters. Did the person who delivered these letters, were they released on licence? And if they were released on licence, did they know the fugitives from justice? And isn't that not in itself a criminal offence? Because the inquiry will also have to ascertain what many of us wanted to ascertain. Is the person who delivered the letters of comfort, so-called, the same person who pumped bullets into the head of John Adams in the Maze prison?
Member bring his remarks to a close.
That is why we need now Amnesty International, the Northern Ireland Human Rights Commission, the Finucane Centre, the Relatives for Justice, to come up and tell us what the situation is for what a representative, Mr. Speaker, I conclude, said was nothing short of the bastardisation of British justice.
Stephen Farry.
Thank you.